How you doing? This is the Good Lord, what's wrong with my voice? Excuse me. This is the guy from Pittsburgh. And somebody inboxed me. They were bored tonight. Am I not going to do any videos? Well, it takes time and effort and research to do some of these. I got to figure out what I'm going to talk about, and then I got to look up information on the subject I'm looking for. Like Jesse Ventura's rant against the Keystone Oil Pipeline. He doesn't seem to have done his homework on that one. Or Barack Obama's illegal and unconstitutional amnesty he's going to do tomorrow night. I'm going to do one on that in a minute. Excuse me. I guess I should have made some hot tea. I'll do that for the next video. And then you have George Noory, our old buddy. Well, I listened to some of Noory tonight, and he had Debra King on. And, well, Debra King, I looked into it back in February. And I heard this woman tonight. And Snorri asked her about are vampires dark or something like that? Are they light? Why do they drain people? I don't remember the exact question because the problem is he asked her the question, and this woman went on about a 5-minute tangent on everything except the answer. She started talking about some guy in ancient Greece, in Greek mythology, who was smitten by a woman, and he got involved with Apollo and Zeus, and he had to drain the woman's energy. And then somehow it went from there, and that was her rationale for why vampires exist in the real world today. And then she got on how we're all challenged. We're given challenges by somebody or something. We're challenged by the environment. We're challenged by the economy. We're challenged by evil. But she never got to she never got to the question. And then George went and asked her if people are drawn to the light or the darkness. Well, this woman has a book, and let's see. Oh, good Lord, what I just had it a minute ago. Hold on. It's one problem working on an iPad. I didn't bring my MacBook in here. Oh, yeah, she's got this book. Where is it? Well, she seems to be gone now. Oh, yeah, Seeking the Light Entangled in Darkness. Well, in her case, I think it's more of seeking the crap. Because there's a post from 2010. And let me get back to this here. I haven't figured out how to get the bookmark. Oh, wait a minute, I do have a way to get the bookmarks, but I gotta remember how. And she was telling Oprah that her whole problem with her thyroid was that she was unhappy because she was eating. And, oh yeah, here we go. This is this woman, Mary Showman, thyroid disease expert. Women's inability to speak out. Now, I don't know about you. I've never known a woman unable to speak out unless they were a mute or had a medical problem where they couldn't talk properly, like a cleft palate or something. I've only known one. My girlfriend had a girl named Pam that was something wrong in her mouth, and she would. And funny thing is, my girlfriend could understand her. I couldn't understand a word she was saying the whole time we knew her. She's dead now, poor thing. She died at 49 in her sleep. But I've never known anybody, woman, who didn't have the ability to speak out. Most women, you can't shut them up, and that's not a sexist remark. It's certainly the case to fight to get a word in edgeways. That was an interesting jump in the video. So, um, on Oprah, there was this woman named Christine Northrup, a holistic physician. Just thyroid problems were a result of energy blockage in the throat. Women result when women swallow words they're going to say. And King um, says some of this stuff too. Well, you know, Doctor or Mary Showman said people can be perfectly healthy and get thyroid disease. I had a friend, perfectly healthy. We dated for a while, and she developed thyroid cancer. Her life was fine. And you have to do your research on these people. We already know about the monumental fraud and rip-off artist Sylvia Brown. Well, Deborah King isn't exactly without fault at this too. One of her books, it's got a review on Amazon. If you look at Deborah King on Amazon, they have all her books, they have reviews. And one guy said he called her up and her assistant, and Deborah couldn't wait to get him off the phone. She was busy. But the gist of it is before she would talk to him, she wanted $500. And so he said that was kind of useless. And then one of her books is a whole polemic on her medical program, ways to get healthy. And she went to $100 for that. So this woman supposedly with help cured her cancer, stopped being an attorney, becomes an expert on health and all of that. And then she says emotional vampires can be a positive thing because they had a guy calling up saying he was an emotional vampire, but he was a positive emotional vampire because he only drained energy from people who gave permission to drain their energy. Well, my mother was an emotional vampire. Everybody who came in contact with her that she had negative feelings for felt drained. Friends who came to visit me never came back because they were so distraught over how my mother would act toward my friends. They never wanted to come to visit me again. One thing I did, it was my mother. She drove me nuts. I had girlfriends who stopped seeing me because of my mother. They couldn't stand to be in the same room with her. And I know for years I had bouts of sleeplessness every time I had to go to visit the woman. People say, "Why did you keep visiting her?" I said, because she had health issues and I was the only one around to take care of her. So there are emotional vampires, and there are people that drink blood from willing victims. But I personally don't believe they're real vampires, although it is a fascinating subject. And I certainly don't believe that vampires are coming out of Greek mythology and Apollo and whoever the guy she cited. So you got to take all this with a grain of salt, maybe a pound of salt. Because Noory gets these guests on. There's another thing. I'm going to have to go buy her books and read them and see what she says. The one she's got is kind of expensive. It's about 16, 17 bucks. Maybe I can find cheap on Amazon or cheaper on eBay. Sometimes you find stuff on eBay that's cheaper than Amazon and the other way around. But I have not been able to find any claims she has all this healing. And one guy said to her so-called healing background is taken from a whole bunch of different holistic and other sources. Well, a tantra masseuse, some of them go to schools for massage. They at least have training. They have a certificate on the wall. I don't see any indication that Deborah King has any kind of training at all. So I'm not impressed by Deborah King. And Noory had the anti-milk guy on again. This doctor's obsessed with milk. I didn't hear that part. There's one other thing. Noory plays this song where the part of the lyrics are "Go away," and then later on, "Please don't go away," or something like that. I can't listen to his bumper music, but I wish Noory would go away. One of the big things that was a huge difference between Art Bell and George Noory is Art Bell would have these people on, and if they sounded like BS artists, Art Bell would say, "You sound like a BS artist," and he'd throw them off the air. Noory doesn't do that. Noory didn't ask any critical questions. You can hear the way he asked, like he's reading off a cue card. Do they seek the light or the darkness? Do people go toward the light or the darkness? Oh, yeah, another thing. Debbie King said at one point that people go toward the light and the darkness. Now, I'm presuming the way she said this, they're doing it at the same time, which means they're being pushed by the light, they're being pulled by the darkness. I guess at some point they split apart into two people or fall on the floor and quiver a lot before they die. I don't know. But Noory is never critical of any of the people. He finds these people you've never heard of, New York Times best-selling author, and which I guess gives you some credibility because you sold a lot of books. I mean, Rush Limbaugh's the number one child book author right now on the internet with his Rush for Veer series. But would that make him a psychic expert? I don't think so. Or a chakra healing expert. These people always claim it's your chakra this, chakra that, and the planet has chakras. So I got the question: if the planet has chakras, and the planet is not feeling well, is that why does the planet would have a thyroid condition? So anyhow, I wish Noory would do some research. Another thing, there's a guy, his book is called Dark Winter, and I've suggested it to Bill and Nancy Burns. Hello, Bill and Nancy. Hello, Justin. And Dark Winter, the guy on Dark Winter, he's sorry, not cosmetologist. That didn't come out right. He's a cosmetologist. It's still not correct. Sorry, I've got cosmetologist on the brain. I don't know why. He's a climatologist. There we go. I got it right finally. And here's his book, if you can see it. Let's see. God, that's one thing I hate about the. Let me turn the light off. Okay. Nope, it's still ain't gonna work. Well, anyway, his book is Dark Winter: How the Sun is Causing a 30-Year Cold Spell. And you remember Noory? You can't see that word a damn. And his name is John L. Casey. And you can find this. I like hardcovers because they don't get beat up. You can get this for $15.45 on Amazon. Remember, Noory has his guest repeatedly about we're headed for new ice age. And 7 are dead across the country from this storm. And John Podesta, who I think is Obama's chief of staff, said the next 2 years Obama is top priority. And Obama always says top priority. Everything's a top priority. Well, his top priority is be climate change. And we're in the midst of probably the biggest and coldest cold snap in years. And Obama sent out kits, official government kits for how cities can deal with global warming. I think that's one of the most hilarious things I've ever seen. So I'm sorry this video runs so long, but it's it just makes me laugh to see how ridiculous some of the stuff is out there. Check these people out. Check out their credentials. You can buy their books. Oh, speaking of books, I had someone say I couldn't dust in the living room. Well, last night when I went down to feed cats, somebody left a three shelf bookcase downstairs. So tonight, with a great deal of effort, um, I moved the wooden video rack, whatever you want to call it, case with all my videos in it. It's now full, all my DVDs and Blu-rays. I stacked it on top of the other video rack and put the three shelf bookcase in there. So now all my paranormal books, there's two like this, and there's two like this, and they're all on one, two, three, four bookcases, and they're all in one spot. And I'll sit down this week and do the rest of the visual paranormal books, but they're on one spot. Got to clean up the corner area tomorrow, vacuum, move the chair, the big TV chair, clean up the area there because on the first of the month, we're going to go out and I'm going to get a very much longer HDMI cable for the Mac to finally, I got a switcher on hooked up to the TV now to switch back and forth between the TV and the Mac and the Blu-ray player and the cable. Went and bought that, but the cable for the HDMI to the Mac is too short, and the Mac in the living room still will not do video. So this Mac, is gonna go in the living room, and the other Mac will go in here because the internal camera does not work. It works in photo booth, but it won't work for the iMovie. I don't know why. So I'll be doing videos in the living room and freezing. It was ungodly cold out there earlier in the night. It's 74 in here, and it was 70 out there. But I felt the front door, and front and the back of the door is ice cold. So I saw a picture um, of a dog in a house in New York, and they had opened the front door, and there was the imprint of the door on the snow, and the snow went, and here was the top of the door, 6 feet high, and it's completely covered in snow. You can't get out the front door. And there's places back there getting another 4 foot of snow. And Justin, hi Justin, he says they're getting snow flurries in Minneapolis right now. And Mayan Cat has been freaked out by all the earthquakes. There were 2 more earthquakes off of Guatemala, border between Guatemala and Mexico this evening, and in San Juan Bautista. And this I find disturbing. And the farmer asked, am I taking big quakes and little quakes? Well, I have apps that look at every quake in the world. If you were to, again, you can't see this. I wonder if I can turn the darkness, lightness thing on this thing to make it so it's not as bright. Maybe you could see it, but let's see. I have to wait a minute because this one was crashing earlier. This is called Ozquake, which I really rely on, and it is not working at all. It's crashing, and that's the first time it's crashing. There's another one, Earthquake Light. It doesn't like to load either. Now, if you can see this, here we go. This is another Quake app, and there's just a solid line of green and yellow all the way up. All the way up to British Columbia of just earthquake dots. And that's another app. And but at San Juan Bautista, there was a 3.9 and then followed by a 4.2. So, and there was yet another. Um, oh, here's another one. Now, see, my Oz thing isn't working for some reason. Here's one, San Juan Batista at 3 a.m., which was 3 minutes ago, 2.9. So that's three quakes in the same spot in one evening. I think something's going on with these quakes. So, yeah, Mr. Farmer, I don't want to use your real handle. You know why. And one other thing, people on a certain board, one of them, we know who he is, made fun of my right eye closing while I'm doing videos. There's two reasons for that. I can't see the screen very well. I have my vision is such I have trouble seeing things on the screen. It's 3 feet away. I'm wedged in here where I'm at now, unlike in the living room where I could reach the controls and see the screen, which is why I bought a 40-inch Sony. And I have to squint in here. Wearing the hat cuts off some of my light, but this room, even though I've got lights, now if I turn the third one on, let's see what happens to this. There's 3 lamps in here. There we go. A little more light. I can now see the screen, but I don't want to make it so bright that you can't see what I'm talking about. So, and this eye, I'm going to take my glasses off. I think this eye is the weak one because one of my eyelids will droop. I can't control it, and it's doing that for about 15 years. So the eye will suddenly start to droop and close. It's not a conscious thing. I don't have any control over it. So, you clowns over there at that other board think you're being funny all the time. But you're only there to amuse yourselves. And, okay, that's all I'm going to say. Try to stay warm. Try to stay careful out there. Drive slow in the wet and the rain, the snow and the sleet. It's rain's coming in here in about an hour. I have to go down soon to feed the cats. I'll be doing another video. And hey, farmer, if you're so bored, come on over here and help me clean the bedroom in here. You won't be bored. You'll have work for days. Half kidding. I just got to have time to straighten everything up. But I dusted every shelf in there, dusted all the videos off, dusted the old bookshelves off, the new bookshelf. For some reason, this apartment cobweb was formed on the ceiling. I don't know why. Um, I guess because everything's closed off a lot. So I got this big long duster like this with real feathers, and it was hard to find. I got a little tiny duster, so I hit those two, and I hit those with a broom. So by the first of the month, the room will be. Kathy's going to come over. That room will be spotless enough to do videos. We won't see any clutter, any mess, except my couch. And eventually, I hope to get a Japanese screen to block off the couch. So MV over there won't complain about box fans. Well, it's even though winter doesn't start for God knows how many days, as far as I'm concerned, we're in the dead of winter right now. All right. Free Art Bell. This is the guy from Pittsburgh. I'll catch you next time. Bye-bye.